So Drake, he had his diss track leak. There's been a number of different titles that people give it, like push ups, drop down, give me 50, a bunch of different titles that people are giving it. I don't know if they're what the official title of it is, especially because it wasn't put out like as an actual release, I guess more or less. So I'm gonna do a full breakdown. We're gonna do a full breakdown of the lyrics. We won't be able to play it because I don't want to risk any of the video getting taken down. So I'll read the lyrics, but I'm not going to actually play the song. So if you want to hear it, go somewhere else to another video, and then you can go listen to it from there. But I'll do a full lyric breakdown before any of the Drake fans click off or any of the Kendrick fans click off. What I'm going to say is that this will be a completely unbiased opinion on the track itself. So it will be not coming from a fan's perspective on either side. It's going to be a literal breakdown when it comes to a diss. So stick around, and I think you'll enjoy it because it's going to be completely unbiased, and like most of the videos that people are going to see where it's like, oh my God, Drake, he blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, we're not doing all that. And we're also not going to be like, Kendrick clear. Like, we're not doing any of that. So he dropped this. So I think it's called push ups. They're saying drop and give me 50 in parentheses. But um, first and foremost, I think that my initial thought when I saw this as a leak is that it's kind of not even kind of, it's weak that it was a leak. Because I think that when people do stuff like leak songs, especially when it comes to a diss record, like you can control who has access to the song. Like the song leaked, but it didn't really leak. This is one of those things where it's a forced leak where somebody will be able to always come back and say, oh, it was unfinished. It was this, it was that, because we saw that initially it was a reference. Then, you know, not too much later in the day, maybe 20 minutes later, even, then a whole different version comes out with a different beat. So it's like you have all these multiple leaks of the diss track. It's a little like people can hide behind the fact that it's a leak and they can always say, oh, it was unfinished, it was a leak, if people decide that they don't like the song. So I thought that part was honestly super weak. Just put the song out. We don't need to do fake leaks, and people have done that before. Like put out a fake leak and then see if people like it, then you turn around and make it an official release. So to me, first and foremost, I think that's corny. And I think that was done on purpose. So, do you have anything before I begin the line by line breakdown?
Mm, yeah, I didn't hear the initial leak because I was in the hair salon. You guys could tell my hair is freshly
The initial
done. So I was in the nail salon, hair salon today when it dropped. So I didn't actually get to hear because I left my AirPods in the car. And I was actually getting my hair washed. Like I was actually about to be in the sink when I sent you the links. So I didn't get to hear the initial beat, but I listened to the actual disc, the final version here at the apartment. So I didn't get that first like in real time reaction. I was getting reaction more so from Twitter and what people were saying. Um, but I mean, I guess it was a cool disc, but I feel like you could do a line by line breakdown. But I feel like a lot of the stuff it was like, like I like a story of Adidon is always gonna be like a reference point for me because I feel like it was line after line after line was just hit, 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 hit. Like it was no fillers. Everything was like, you know what I mean? No like corny bars, whatever. But yeah. But just going back to the leak thing, I do feel like the leak is corny. I feel like if you're gonna be in this battle, like be in this battle. Like let's go. Like you're put to be this seasoned goat in the game. Like act like it. Like why are we doing leaks to add like a buffer to hedge your hedge the impact of people's reaction so you could hide behind, oh, it was a leak. I feel like I could just see him snickering. Oh, like when you send a risky text message and then you like, I don't know if I'm gonna do this, but you send a message and you kind of like throw your phone and you're just like, because it was like risky and like you're scared to see the response. I feel like that's what he did. Leak it. And he held his ears and hid in a corner and like snickering somewhere, looking at the people's reaction. Like that's corny to me because it was like now that he's seeing people like liking it and like messing with it, he's probably like yeah. But if people hated it, he would have been like you said, oh, it wasn't done. I wasn't even it. That wasn't it. It was a leak. Corny. Like I feel like the whole leak thing is getting corny to me. I hate that whole aspect of hip hop. The leak dynamic.
yeah. So when it comes to the verse itself, I think, um, yeah, the leak aspect was kind of wild. But aside from that, the actual song itself, actually, I might as well just bring it up now. So Rick Ross did respond to this part, to the song already. So it was really shortly after. It might have been like 40 minutes after this song dropped from Drake, and he brought that up. Like, why are we? He said something like, "Why are we leaking the song when we're talking direct?"
Yeah.
Yeah, like that was one of my first opinions on it. Is like this song
Yeah.
shouldn't have leaked. Just put the song out. Like, especially if it
Rick
was
Ross
already
really got
done.
into the studio and directly dropped that too.
Yeah,
But yeah, I like how he called it out because he
Yeah.
knows he's in the game. He knows how that goes, and I'm sure he realizes leaks aren't as easy as people act like they are. Like I'm sure they're not super common. I think most times when it happened, they're purposeful. I think even new leaks were purposeful.
of course.
Like I think when Drake's video leaked, I think that was him. That was his camp. I forgot the reason why people think he was a part of it, but there was a reason. He was trying to distract us for something. I think.
Yeah. So we're gonna go line by line, and let's do it. So I could never be nobody number one fan. Your first number one, I had to put it in your hand. Great two bars, especially the intro. That's a direct response to Future, where he said that Drake is his number one fan dog on the intro to the first Metro album. We Don't Trust You. First number one, I had to put it in your hand. I think that was Way Too Sexy, if I'm not mistaken, where that went number one.
Future.
Mm-hmm.
Which that was their first one. Damn.
Yeah.
I thought they had one already.
Probably not.
Let's see.
I'm assuming it's that. If it's not that, then regardless.
I would think so. That's on OD.
Yeah, regardless, that is a stat. I'm sure he didn't just say that out of nowhere. So he definitely probably had some involvement with Future getting a number one. Now, the only thing that I will say though, that I don't like is that when a song goes number one to me, while I think
Good.
Life is Good was the first number one.
Yeah.
That's probably a number one though, because didn't Life is Good come after?
Oh
that?
yeah, you're right. Way Too Sexy was 2021.
Yeah. So
It's his first one ever. Damn, and it hit. But Life is Good was also another one. It wasn't Drake on that.
yeah, but
And Jumpman. Did they say Jumpman was number one?
Definitely not. When there's a mutual benefit, like I feel like when there's two people on a song, I feel like it's kind of super hard to get off that. Like, I gave you a number one just because the person was on the song. Like, I feel like.
Sorry, Wait for You. Damn, I think all his number ones are Drake.
Yeah, I think we know that already though.
Wait for You. What else? Way Too Sexy. And what's the third one? Like That. Oh, Like That. The one that dropped. Okay.
Yeah. So
the Drake diss, so they'll still try to take credit for that.
Yeah. So I don't like the I gave you your first number one kind of thing, because it's a mutual thing. You have two people on a song. You can't really measure if Drake dropped these songs individually, if they would have done what they did with or without him. I think it's kind of hard.
Then you would say every Drake song would go number one. Then if that was the case, if he was a special sauce,
Right?
But he's been on plenty of people's music. He featured on plenty of artists, and their songs were not number one songs.
Yeah. So I do like the bar, but I don't necessarily agree with it.
And sorry not to interrupt again too, but I think what made Way Too Sexy so popular is literally Future's part. The I'm dude, like him, which is a sample. Like he's still kind of sampling. What is it called? Interpolation.
Mm-hmm.
So that's still, nostalgia probably has something to do with it too, right? And even Life is Good, I think people like Future's part. Like that's the part that's trendy on TikTok. Future's parts on both songs. So like, what are we really talking about? But
cool bar. You pussies can't get booked outside America for Nan. Yeah, I didn't agree with this one because I don't think anybody who he would have had beef with.
And why is she in it?
Can't get booked out. Huh?
America Fernanda,
No.
That's a girl's name, America Fernanda.
Is that what he was trying to?
Is that what he said? Fernand, right?
Like Fernand, like for nothing.
Yeah, but couldn't that be American? Isn't that her name? I think her name is American Ferrera. Never mind. Sorry.
So I don't agree with that one because I don't think that anybody he would have been talking about would have any trouble getting booked outside of the country. I don't even think that's a thing.
We talked about this off camera too. I think getting bookings outside of the country is actually probably easier than in the country because out of the country they fiend to see American artists because they don't really see them as often as Americans do.
I'm out in Tokyo because I'm big in Japan. Okay. I'm the hitmaker y'all depend on. Backstage in my city, it was friend zone. Don't know what he really meant by that, but maybe backstage there was a everybody was trying to play friendly with him. You won't ever take no chain off of us. How the fuck you big stepping with a size 7 men's on? This was a response to Kendrick saying that he's going to snatch Drake's chains with his hoodlums and burn off some tattoos.
It was that like a supposed to be like a shout out to like the morale and the steppers, whatever.
Yeah, the big stepping.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Is he a size 7? We gotta figure that out.
I'm never googling what Kendrick Lamar's foot size is, but maybe I don't know.
But even still, like you said before, that's like giving high school.
Yeah,
this.
I never quite like that. Like when wasn't Nas the one that said Jay-Z looked like a camel?
Yeah, like why are we coming at things that people can't really control?
Not even that. It's just like kind of like okay, it's like lunchroom
Like, ooh, my feet
lunchroom
small.
disses.
Ooh.
You won't ever take no chain off of us. How the fuck you big stepping with a
He's a
size 7
size
men's
9.
on? This the bark with the bite, nigga. What's up? Okay, for all the dogs reference, that was cool. I know my picture on the wall when y'all cook up. Extortion baby, whole career you've been shook up. So now this is where we start to get to the real intricate part about the diss.
Nobody's picture is up on the wall. I need him to stop. He thinks too big of himself.
Extortion baby, whole career you've been shook up because Top told you drop and give me 50 like some push-ups. So this is supposedly about Kendrick having a 50% split with Top Dog, who is the owner of TDE. And while we don't necessarily know that, I think that this is tough. I'm not super familiar with West Coast culture, but I feel like I've heard people say drop and give me 50 a lot in the West Coast music. I feel like that's like a cultural thing out there. Reference to push-ups, obviously, but here he used it to say drop and give me 50. Like every single time you drop a song, you give me 50%. So this one was super hard.
But is it hard when he's a victim to that as well?
Yeah. That was the only thing about the bar was that he kind of shot at himself a little bit because it's kind of been a known fact that Drake has been signed to Jay Prince, Lil Wayne, Birdman, and Universal Music Group. So I think the way it works is that Jay Prince has a finder's fee that any label that works with Drake will have to pay Jay Prince money. So I don't think that necessarily comes out of Drake's budget. I think it comes out of UMG's budget, but UMG is not going to take a loss on a Drake investment. So somewhere inadvertently, Drake is kind of paying Jay Prince in a way. He was signed to Lil Wayne, and then I think through a partnership with Lil Wayne and Birdman, they were also signed to like Young Money, Cash Money, the YMCMB thing. So I think that there's also been a percentage taken out of that too. So basically, he has to pay a ton of people. And one of the old Pusha T disses, one of my favorite disses ever, Exodus 23:1, he brought that up. You sign to one nigga to sign to another nigga to sign to 3 niggas. Now that's bad luck. So this kind of extortion thing kind of relates to Drake too. So while the line I think was good, it still kind of relates to him too.
Yeah. Another line too. The M's count different.
When baby divides a pie, which was
like all that money you making is different when you got to split it.
Right, and like, Birdman's old name used to be Baby, so that's who he's talking to.
So it's like that's my whole thing. Like when you throw shots that also could be shot back at you. For me, it's like I always hated that by people. Like don't throw shots that could be directed at you also, because then it's kind of like irrelevant to me.
Yeah,
and it's a good bar, but it gets milked down by the fact that he's also dropping 50.
Yeah, I think it's actually more than 50, so allegedly. I don't know what deals he's got out of. He's probably gotten out of it since then, but yeah, supposedly it might have actually even been more than 50.
Even if he got out of it, he still is part of his history, you know?
Yeah. So your last one, Brick, you're really not on shit. They make excuses for you because they hate to see me lit. Pull your contract because we got to see the split. The way you doing splits, bitch, your parents might rip. So obviously still just keep going on the concept of his split with TDE. So cool scheme to continue. He said you better do that motherfucking show inside the biddy. Maroon 5 need a verse, you better make it witty. Then we need a verse for the Swifties. Top say drop, you better drop and give him 50. So this one I definitely liked a little bit because I don't think that Drake's ever really done any well, he does make a lot of mainstream music, and that's his whole thing. He's never really done, from my understanding, any kind of like feature verse or like collaboration with any of what they would consider mainstream white artists, and I can't think of one. If anybody's watching this and they know one, definitely put it in there. But I can't think of him doing
You
anything
know,
like a
Kanye did
Maroon
it.
Five.
He did it with Katy Perry.
Yeah, Katy Perry had ET
Yeah,
song. Kanye's also done quite a few, but
yeah.
he did
And then obviously
Estelle,
Kendrick did
obviously.
it. Yeah. I mean, that's different. Estelle's not the same as like a Katy
Well, yeah,
Perry, a
yeah, that's a whole different.
Gaga, uh, Ariana Grande, Taylor
Yeah,
Swift, like Ice Spice, just doing a Taylor Swift song. So that's a good bar, I guess, too. But it's still like my bad.
yeah.
It's
So,
still like I don't know. You know what's funny too? Not the Swifties are mad at him.
oh yeah, of course.
They know they're a major fan base, so they don't like that they're mentioning that. That's all on Twitter.
And
They're
it's anything.
mad. They're mad.
Even when Kanye mentioned her in Carnival, he never even dissed her. He didn't even
Yeah,
diss
it
her in the
wasn't even a
song. It was
diss. He
just the
was saying
mention.
since Taylor
Yeah,
Swift, like since
yeah.
that 2007, whatever, till the
So I like this one because it's kind of like going at Kendrick for the black excellence power kind of thing, but saying you're doing songs with like Maroon Five
it
and
hits.
Taylor Swift.
It
So
hits.
so yeah, I like that one. And then he says, "Top say drop, you better drop and give him 50. Pip squeak pipe down. You ain't in no big three. SZA got you wiped down. Travis got you wiped down. Savage got you wiped down." So this one I don't like. SZA has nothing to do with rap. I understand that they're under the same label, and I don't know the numbers, but SZA supposedly sold more than Kendrick, which she probably did on SOS. But she's not a rapper, right? Because that would be
Yeah.
the equivalent of like saying, Drake doesn't
Drake to Taylor Swift.
yeah, Drake to
Yeah.
Taylor Swift or any of those
Like, why are
other
we
same
comparing apples to
comparisons.
oranges? Knowing, like, you could be a black, you could be half black man in the culture, knowing how pop in the R&B is usually supersedes hip hop by numbers. Why are you comparing them to? Like, it's kind of corny. Like, are you in the culture or not? Like, that's a false comparison. Like, you can't compare those two.
Yeah, Travis got you wiped down. Savage got you wiped down. That one
Yeah,
was just funny.
love Travis, but no,
Yeah, Travis does not rap better
no.
than Kendrick.
It's
Even though Travis
Travis.
is a great rapper,
He's a great rapper.
He's very underrated.
And, yeah, like My Eyes, that verse is crazy.
Travis is
Like,
very underrated as a rapper.
and he's very influential. Like, obviously, Travis is
Extremely.
one of my favorite artists. But to say that he's competing with Kendrick when it comes to lyricism and he's wiping him down. Like, no, now you're just being disrespectful. Like, I think he's trying to be stupid. He's trying to be funny.
Yeah, Twin Bitches
don't play
hopping
in
off the
my
jet
face.
ski isn't really
Yeah.
getting it done. And I love Travis.
Yeah.
I love that song.
But when we're
we're-
comparing like artistry, like lyricism, Kendrick.
Yeah, and Savage got you wiped down. We're not even gonna talk about that one.
Yeah, like come on, 21.
Like your label boy, you in the scope right
That's
now.
suspicious to me. Honestly.
Obviously, Interscope bar, and you're gonna feel the aftermath of what I write down.
So obviously, that Kendrick's not even with Interscope anymore.
He's not with Interscope
So
or
it's like-
Aftermath. Yeah, he's in his own label. He's independent from Interscope. You're gonna feel the aftermath of what I write down. Obviously, Aftermath, Dr. Dre reference. I'm at the top of the mountain, so you tight now. Just to have this talk with your ass, I had to hike down. Big difference between Mike then and Mike now. So I like that scheme right there. Just mostly for the Mike then and Mike now, but because of how it translates into the next bar where it says, "What the fuck is this? A 20v1 nigga? What's a prince to a king? He a son nigga." So this was one that I liked a lot, only because I thought it was weird that Kendrick brought up the Mike Jackson Prince comparison. And I get what he was going for, saying that Prince lived and Michael Jackson outlived him. But in general, Prince's music is, I'm sorry, Michael Jackson's music is still like better than Prince's music, in my opinion. And it's still going to always do better. And I know we don't like to talk about the sales aspect, and so I won't even bring that up. But just in terms of the volume and like the amount, like every song is insane. So to me, yeah, I think it was good for Drake to bring that up. Like, what's a prince to a king? He a son nigga. So obviously reference to Michael Jackson being the king of pop and, Prince being Prince. And he a son nigga, and because Michael Jackson's, one of his sons is named Prince, correct?
Yeah.
Something like that. So I think that whole scheme, I like that one a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give him his credit. I'll give him his credit. I'm not gonna hate on that one. I thought that one was good. Because I understood what Kendrick was trying to go for with that part, but
It didn't land
it
for
still
me.
it still doesn't really land because I don't think anybody is denying like Michael Jackson's like literally the best artist in our
Ever,
lifetime,
yeah.
like literally. So I don't think I kind of understand what he was saying, but it didn't really land. So I feel like that was a good response.
Yeah.
I'll give Drake that.
Get more love in the city that you from, nigga. Metro, shut your whole ass up and make some drums, nigga. Now the thing about the get more love in your city, it could have been applicable to anybody, and the thing is, it's probably true just because of how popular Drake is. That more likely than not, if Drake shows up versus some other people, more people are gonna show up because Drake's gonna show up. So it's probably true. The only thing is that like Drake, I think Drake's been allowed to move around, and he can. He's. I don't mean it in the way that this is going to sound like people are going to prevent, and Drake got to check in. Not to make it sound like that, but Drake's definitely been able to benefit from the cosigns of these different areas, from getting acceptance from the more street rappers to go into these certain areas and be more accepted. Um, so you kind of can't use that as like I'm more popular in your city when people kind of more or less allowed you to be accepted in the city by giving you that cosign.
Yeah.
So I think he said his first show ever was like in Atlanta or something like that. But like I don't think he gets to be in those positions to be accepted without the street rappers. And it's not to take credit away from him, but I don't know if I'm in love with the get more love. And definitely not the Metro shut your whole ass up and make some drums, nigga. Because to me,
like, why are we disrespecting the Metro?
It's the concept of the mutual benefit. So when Drake was viewed as being a soft rapper, and he was crying on Marvin's Room and all these different things, which I personally love. I think that the singing Drake is the best version of Drake, not necessarily the rapping part.
The only time I was actually legitimately a fan of him was prior to If You're Reading This Is Too Late. That was like the times I was actually a fan.
So when it comes to What a Time to Be Alive, there's a mutual benefit there, right? Like you get to get the credentials of being stamped by somebody from the streets, which is Future, and also Metro, coming from the same area. You get stamped that way, and you get to make a trap album without people questioning it as much because you have that stamp. So it's a mutual benefit there. So you can't rap on the beats and then turn around and say that, oh, you never needed him anyway, because you did need him, especially at that particular time, because I was there. Like I remember people calling Drake soft all the time and him being upset about that. So he tried to come back with some more harder music, which has led to the Mob Ties type gangster music that we have today that came from these things, these Metro beats. So I don't like this because it's just kind of like Metro shouldn't even be able to say the same thing as an opposite either. There's a mutual look that comes from these things. Obviously Drake is popular and it gave more visibility to Metro's beats, but Drake also gained a massive benefit of street credibility by rapping on Metro Boomin's beats, and that allowed him to get off a lot of the trap music that he makes today.
And
so there's a mutual benefit.
Knows music knows Metro been around forever.
Like he would have been good with it without Drake.
He was with everybody. He was with Travis, Future,
Gucci.
Yeah, like he's been around. So like, put respect on his name. Like he's literally a legend in the production world, especially in the trap world. So to just call him a hoe, like for what? Like you just.
But that's all he could say. That's the thing.
You're lame. You're a freaking biracial identity man with an identity crisis. Like you'll never be able to be any of these men. Like don't forget that. And that's what kills him at the end of the day. He wakes up and he's still him. And he still might be happy with that because of his success. But I don't think his success is feeding him enough. Because it will never make you, what he wants to be.
All right, I'm trying to get rid of this because we got a lot more to go. So, y'all nigga manager was Chubb's little blunt runner, who I think he's talking about Cash XO here, which I could be wrong. So if I'm wrong, somebody correct me. But claimed the 6 and you boys ain't even come from it. And when you boys got rich, you had to run from it. So he's definitely talking about The Weeknd and the XO camp. He's definitely talking about Cash too here, but I just don't know if Cash was also Chubbs' little blunt runner. For those of you that don't know, Cash XO is the one that runs XO portion, like with The Weeknd and everybody else that they have signed. I think Belly might also be signed to XO if I'm not mistaken, and there's a few other people signed to XO, but I don't recall. I don't think Nav is either, but he might be. Cash blowing, Able Bread out here tricking. And this is the one I liked. Cash blowing, Able Bread out here tricking. Shit we do for bitches, he doing for niggas. Jets, whip, chains, wicked. That scheme was tough. He also finishes it by saying, spending it like you trying to fuck, boy, you tripping. So this whole scheme is about, again, the concept of splits, where basically The Weeknd is, he's alluding to The Weeknd giving out huge portion of his splits to Cash XO, who is his manager. So any music that The Weeknd drops, Cash is getting rich off of it. And he's saying that Drake is saying that he tricks for women, but The Weeknd is out here tricking for men basically by giving Cash all this money and allowing him to buy things like jets, cars, and chains. And then he put the wicked, wicked, wicked flip on it, which obviously referenced the Future. So I like this one a lot. This one was tough. This might be one of the best schemes out here in the song. He says Drizzy Chippendale probably got your bitch Chanel. I just got him done, boy. Don't make me have to chip a nail. This was insane and was the worst part of the song because why are we in a rap beef talking about I'm gonna chip my fingernail because I just got a manicure? I don't know what we're talking about here, but okay.
Like, yeah, like why is that in rap beef?
Rolling Loud stage, y'all were turned. That was slick as hell. Shit'll probably change if your baby mama starts to kiss and tell. He said BM, but I'm gonna say baby mama. So yeah, so he's referencing obviously Travis, Future. I think who else was up there? I think Chase was the DJ. Where Travis was telling Chase to play the what ended up being like that, but before the song came out to play the diss. So he said, "Y'all return to sell. Shit'll probably change if your baby mama starts to kiss and tell." And I don't know if he could be talking about anybody. He could be talking about Travis and Kylie. He could be talking about Future and any of his baby mamas.
And there is rumors about Kylie and like the Kardashians and Jenners dabbling with Drake. So
yeah, so who knows? And maybe he might out that, but
he tried to do that play with Kanye too.
So we'll see. Hugs and kisses, man. Don't tell me about no switches. I'll be rocking. Ooh, that voice crack. Hugs and kisses, man. Don't tell me about no switches. I'll be rocking every fucking chain I own next visit. That's a direct reference to Kendrick, where he said that first person shooter, whatever, it better come with 3 switches. And Kendrick talking about he's snatching chains and burning tattoos. So Drake is saying I'll be wearing every chain he owns next time he visits LA. And he says I'll be with some bodyguards like Whitney. Top say drop your little midget ass, better fucking drop and give me 50. Now, this is probably one of the more bombshell. Yeah, this is where it gets controversial. So for those of you that don't know, Whitney is the name of Kendrick Lamar's wife.
Yeah.
He admitted on Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers that he cheated on her. And what is alleged is that she was messing with Kendrick's bodyguard. So this is a double entendre here. I'd be with some bodyguards like Whitney, which is the obvious. Whitney Houston was in the movie The Bodyguard, resulting in one of the highest selling songs of all time. So easy way to like put those two things together, but also because Whitney is Kendrick Lamar's wife's name and she allegedly was messing with Kendrick's bodyguard, that's supposed to be the bar. Now, I'm being critical.
Well, do we know if that was alleged?
Yeah, that's like
definitely becoming alleged now because of the bar.
No, I think that's been alleged.
Really? Oh, so you heard that rumor before?
No, but after doing some research, this is not like a brand new thing.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, if somebody, you was with somebody since you were young, right? Like your life experience probably only is with them, and you find out they cheat on you. I'm sure you do some crazy things as a woman, like. So I don't think it's far fetched that maybe she got some get back with the bodyguard or something, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like that's not something that would be widely spread, widely known. And if Drake knows that in particular, or even if he's just feeding into a rumor, he's still trying to get at you, and he's saying your wife's name.
Yeah.
And did he not learn from Pusha T? Like Pusha T said, if you want to name drop my fiance, let the world know who you chose as your Beyonce. So I don't know. I feel like Drake loves to get these men, and like I feel like he likes to try to come at them where he thinks it might hurt, and he uses women as his like ammo all the time after time after time. And I feel like this was definitely him trying to like say something. You're not just using the name Whitney for no reason.
Or he knows something.
Yeah, or he knows something for sure. So it's like, why do it again when you know what happened last time? So I think he definitely has more of a confidence going into it this time.
Yeah,
for sure. Because it's like, why repeat that, knowing what the outcome was last time?
Yeah.
So whatever he has, he might feel confident with.
I'm gonna speed through the rest of these. So drop and give me 50. Drop and give me 50. Niggas really got me out here talking like I'm 50. Niggas really got me out here rapping what I'm living. And here's the shots at Rick Ross. I might take your latest girl and cuff her like I'm Ricky. Obviously, a play off of Rick Ross and him being a former corrections officer. Can't believe he jumping in. This nigga turning 50. Every song that made it on the chart he got from Drizzy. That I highly doubt that every song that, that Rick Ross ever had on the chart um, came from Drake. That's definitely not true. But I get the sentiment. Maybe every his highest charting songs, maybe there was always the Drake feature. But the thing about it is kind of the same thing as the mutual benefit thing. Because I don't think if Drake was on those same songs by himself, if they would have sold as much, only because they are a
Mutual.
specific niche of like rap.
It's almost like if Nicki and Cardi would drop a song now, it's not like either one of them would be the recent songs going #1. It's because the combination of both of them.
Yeah, it would be hard to
Shit will
determine.
break the internet.
And the type of songs that they've done together have been very like rappy. The only thing maybe is Aston Martin music. That I could almost kind of give Drake more credit a little bit, maybe, but even that's a hard maybe because people like the way that Rick Ross raps on these type of luxurious beats. So when there's a mutual benefit, I ignore the bar even if it's a bar. Can't believe you jumping in. He turning 50, blah blah. Spending that little check you got and stay about my business. Worry about whatever you got going on with you and So spend that little check you got. I don't think Rick Ross has a little check, but I'll ignore that one. Worry about whatever you worry about whatever going on with you and obviously Drake has some information about whatever is going on with Rick Ross and some woman.
He stopped. He said,
Yeah. So he didn't say the name. He said,
Yes.
"Stay about my business." So maybe
I need a
something
baby
that,
mama.
something that rhymes with business. Does her name rhyme with business?
What's the baby mama's name?
I don't know.
The one I was fighting with Bandman. What's his name? Bandman Kivo. What's his name? Kevo.
Yeah, I can't tell.
Tia Kemp. Tia Kemp is around my business.
Could be anybody. Who knows?
Business princess and.
But that's one of those between me and you bars. So that's a bar. Hey, shout out to the Hooper that be busting out the gritty. We know why you mad, nigga. I ain't even tripping. All that little heartbroken Twitter shit for bitches. I ain't even rapping after this. I'm way too busy. So maybe we'll talk about this at another time in another video. But Drake has to stop with the 21-year-olds and the 20-year-olds and the 19-year-olds.
You're fighting over a 21-year-old with another 21-year-old. How old John Morant?
John Morant's got to be like 20. Yeah.
24. Like, nigga, why you fighting with 20-year-olds? You're 40. Go start a family. Well, you already did with a porn star. But go, like, get a wife. All those Birkin bags you have in your closet are just collecting dust. Like, why you arguing with a freaking basketball player, NBA player? You be at every game. Like, I can't. He's so lame.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't.
So that was a John Morant diss.
John Morant diss.
Yeah.
It's cool. I guess it's cool if you want to look at it from a bar perspective, but when you take the nuance of it being a 21-year-old and Drake is 38,
37, I think.
37, it's a little
but
nuts.
There, 38.
It's a little nuts.
So 38 this year.
This for all the top dogs. Drop and give me 50. Fire. Top Dog Entertainment. Obviously TDE flip. I don't know if this is then him shooting at everybody else under TDE. I would assume not necessarily either.
Potentially though, because a lot of TDA people. What's that one guy? He was been talking every time stuff been dropping. He been tweeting.
Punch.
Yeah.
But Punch isn't a rapper.
Yeah, but he's still TDE, so it still could be a. To that.
And SZA's under TDE, so I don't.
Yeah,
we could take that. Let's
SZA.
assume.
He likes it, I think.
And that fucking song y'all did not start with the start. I can't even read. And that fucking song y'all did not start the beef with us. This shit been brewing in the pot. Now I'm heating up.
Well, duh.
I don't care what Cole think. That shit was weak as fuck. Him talking about J. Cole apologizing, so we know that he thinks it's weak. I thought it was weak.
Damn.
Champagne tripping. He is not fucking easing up. Nigga calling Top to see if you want to piece it up. Top want to piece it up. Top want to piece it up. Nah, pussy. Now you on your own when you speaking up. You done roll deep to this. It's not fucking deep enough. Begging Kai Cenat, boy, you not fucking beating us. I don't know who was begging Kai to do an appearance on stream, but I highly doubt that it was anybody, Kendrick, Metro, Future. So I don't know who he's talking about here, but the only person that we can think of that Kai's actually done a stream with is Yachty.
Interesting.
21.
And anybody who's relevant, who is begging Kai definitely would have already. There would have been no begging. Kai would have accepted it. Kai needs celebrities. Like
Yeah,
that's like
I don't see him rejecting anybody, but I
yeah.
don't
So who
know.
was begging?
I don't know who is begging, but maybe we'll have information.
Maybe that's a warning shot to somebody else who's
Um,
trying to say something.
I do know people were saying that like it was about Kanye because Kanye being mad about Kai's comments on his pants.
Interesting. Kind of get in the field because this nigga's still talking about you potentially.
Numbers wise, I'm out of here. You're not fucking creeping up. Money wise, I'm out of here. You're not fucking sneaking up. Cornball, show your money. Your cornball, your show money, merch money fee to us. I'm gonna let you niggas work it out because I've seen enough. This ain't even everything I know. Don't wake a demon up. This ain't even everything I know. Don't wake the demon up. Drop and give me 50. All you fuck niggas teaming up. Then the academic sample comes in. What top 5 are you smoking on, Kendrick? And that's it. So that's the full lyric breakdown. Hopefully you enjoyed it because that was a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. But I think it's a good response. I think that it's effective enough to get people off his back in terms of like people expecting it to be something trash where they're gonna be like, oh look, Drake got washed. So I think this is critical. This is going to be one of those most critical points in rap history where Drake, even though he leaked it, which was soft, he still gave a response that was good enough to fight back and defend himself. And now the ball's in Kendrick's court. So I think this was a critical moment in history.
Yeah.
And the response itself was decent.
This is going to be interesting what comes next.
Yeah, I think violence comes next.
Nah, you always be thinking it's about to be violent. Nah, I think what next is gonna be.
Well, I say that because look what happened with Pusha T.
Yeah, but okay, so you mean like? I think you mean like literally that people getting hurt. Like
no, that's literally what happened.
What him getting people coming?
Yeah, they put the guy in critical condition.
Oh yeah, I can't remember that. But no, I don't think that's next. Nothing was said crazy enough for that to happen next. I feel like what's next is gonna be is balls in Kendrick's court, so it's all now on him. So either he keeps it going or he stops it. Like I mean, Rick Ross responded, right? So we got to see if Drake's gonna respond to Rick Ross. But I feel like it's kind of like a thing where it's like I don't think it gets to violence per se until like really crazy bars are said. Like story added on was crazy bars, like disrespectful. Like you exposed like a man's child. It came for the mother of the child and exposed his clothing line he was about to drop. Like that's fighting words. Nothing, in my opinion, yet has been said are fighting words.
At least with Rocky and Drake has.
Well, yeah, no, for sure. Cause Drake disrespectfully has talked about his. It's funny how I want to say wife, but they're not married. But his girlfriend, I guess, baby mom, Rihanna, like multiple times.
Rocky should have sent all the Harlem Goons to Toronto.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm disappointed in Rocky. Cause I feel like he should at this point he should have been set that man straight. I mean, who knows? It's still a pending album from him. We might get some verses, right? But I feel like, come on, like this man said the grimiest things that were so obviously about your girlfriend and like the mother of your 2 children. Like, you gonna let that slide? That fear of heights verse is disgusting. Come on, you gonna let that slide? And his comeback on the "We Still Don't Trust You" wasn't for me strong enough based off what Drake was saying.
Am I crazy for wanting to put hands and feet on somebody?
No, like, because like, who are you? Like, who do you think you are? Because you dated her and she didn't really want you, and she.
No, he still hit though, so we're not doing that argument. But for me,
yeah, but that's not what he wanted out of her. He wanted a family.
Who cares? He still did.
Yeah, but that's still gonna hurt him at the day. Yeah, you still okay? Ooh, you had sex with her. Ooh, but it's like
nah, there's no ooh. Like
but I realistically though, like at the end of the day, that stuff like it matters to a certain extent. But at the end of the day, like what you really want, like Drake talks about all the time. That's why I keep bringing that against him. Oh, like my dream life would have been like on paper the perfect family. Like you see, that's why Pusha T broke it down. That's family, something Drake, you know, that you never had, Sandy never had, no ring. So that's like Drake's ideal fantasy life as a family, and he wanted that with Rihanna. So at the end of the day, yeah, I hit, but and what, you hit so many other women, that don't mean nothing. What you really want, you can't get. Like he buys Birkins and stuff, like he wants a wife, he wants that. Like he's 40 years old. Like there's only so many times you can have sex with so many different women. Like we just talked about this off camera. Like he wants that bond and that vibe with the woman, and ASAP got that with the woman that he wanted, the woman of his dreams, you know?
At what point do you put hands and feet on people?
The second that you say anything disrespectfully about the person who birthed your kids,
So then we don't
it's
rap anymore,
warranted.
right? But that's what I'm saying. Then
Yeah,
why does violence not come
honestly, it
next?
shouldn't even be dishes anymore.
Why does
In
violence
their
not come next?
situation, I mean, realistically, when you're our father and you're our parent, I know like that's like you're thinking of your kids, so that might not be the reason. That might be the reason why you're ducking it because it's like, what is that really going to solve? Um, so maybe he's ASAP's taking the high road because he has kids, so
Yeah, but
and he has a family that he has to be alive for. Like you don't want to get into some tricky situation and potentially die and leave your kids fatherless. Like no,
I know people
I'm not gonna let
can
him win.
accidentally get murdered in a fist fight, but why is it that people don't just fight? That's like my confusion because yeah, obviously you don't want to pull up on people with guns and
Well,
weapons and
fighting
start
not
shooting
always
people.
necessarily it's not always the answer though.
It's not. It's never the answer.
It's never like
But like,
you could,
it's.
so maybe he wants to do the diss track route. Maybe that's for him is enough.
I know that's the thing that's always like a little bit of a conflicting point for me because it's
He could
like
just be bigger than bigger person though. Cause like remember we just watched that Shogun show. Sometimes getting that reaction out of people, that angry reaction, you're actually appeasing them. You're giving them what you want. Sometimes by not giving them that, you win because like you're not giving them that satisfaction that they angered you, that they impacted you, that they are impacting you. Like
right, and that was one perspective.
you like the life that you're living is already enough of a flex to him than anything that he could ever say or do. Like you could say fight him, you could do whatever, but at the end of the day, what you have is what he wants, and so you win. You know what I
But
mean?
what was the other argument after that in the show?
I forgot.
Yeah, because you didn't pay attention to the after part of that. The retort to that was, yeah, all that's fine and well, but you still have to exist in a world where that Drake still said what he said.
That's true.
So then what?
But see, but that kind of goes against our argument that we had earlier, where you talk about like me not arguing with people on Twitter. Because at the end of the day, I couldn't be the bigger person not saying nothing, but they still said what they said,
Right,
and people
but
are still reading what they said.
right, but what I said was I'm not going back and forth with people that aren't in my realm. So I'm not
Yeah,
gonna go back
I
and
see
tweet
that.
some random person that lives in West Bumblefuck, USA, that has an opinion on something, but somebody that might be down the street from me that's living a similar life to me, then yeah, then I might say
And
something.
that's the crazy part about this beef. Is they all live close. Like they be beefing and they probably literally live in the same neighborhood. Like pull up. I'm not sure where ASAP and Rihanna live. I know they live in New York for sure. But I'm pretty sure they have a LA spot too.
That's my thing. Because
You can pull up. You have my address. You have my number. Come through. You know what studio I be at.
it's just more so at what point, because this is where my questions comes from. It's like, at what point does it stop being basically a tweet war? Because it's in music,
Yeah.
but at what point does it stop going back and forth where we're just basically sending tweets at each other? Because that's what it comes down
But
to.
that's the thing is some beefs will never end. You know what I mean? Like I feel like there's never an ending point with some people. Like sometimes you just gotta let things be what they are and just let it be, right? Like I think about some of it's beefs I was in, right? I'm sure to this day there's still potentially smoke with people, right? But it's like, at what point do you just like call it? It is what it is. Like we don't like each other, and that's just gonna be what it is. We don't have to speak each other. We don't have to recognize. We don't have to acknowledge each other. We just don't like each other. Fine. You know what I mean? But the really only end ever to any beefs is death, in my opinion, and that's no one wants to get to that point. It's never that serious, in my opinion. Depending on what you do, it's never that serious. Like you're gonna disrespect my girl, my wife, the mother of my kids. Yeah, I might put hands on you, but at the end of the day, I'm living the life that you want. So I know you're only saying this because you're mad. You know what I mean? And you know it's not true. Like that's the funny part is I would love for if Rihanna has some type of like concrete proof that their sex was not mid, and that he's just saying that he's mad. But then again, there's no really way to prove that your sex is amazing. Is there a way to prove that? There's a way to prove it. Never mind.
Yeah.
As a woman, is there a way to prove it? I feel like as a man, it's easy to prove. Because
As a woman, that's one of those things where I feel
one
like
thing that
people,
women like to attribute to thinking that it's good is that they feel like a man like constantly hits them up afterwards. So for them, they feel like which it could be, but not always. But it definitely could be. If a guy's continuing wanting to have that experience with you, then I feel like it would be safe to say that it's good enough that they want to come back for more. Or you could just be the only girl available. So that's the thing too. But
Yeah, there's no way to
I
really
feel like there's
tell.
no way to really tell because as a woman, you could, there's a lot of ways. Kind of. I'm not gonna go into that, but there are. As a man, it's like, I mean, there's a way. I guess if a guy is just like sound like he's fighting for his life and explodes. Yeah.
But even that's not a good gauge either.
They could be faking it, but girls can be faking it too.
Faking. I don't even mean faking. I mean sometimes you be thinking about some whole other shit.
Oh yeah, yeah. You might be thinking about another girl. Yeah. True, true, true.
Anyway,
Damn.
yeah,
Anyway. Yeah, I
yeah.
don't
It's
know.
always just the internal debate because
Yeah,
like
because
we
like
see with
you don't want to die over something like
with
that.
Pusha T's response immediately there were
Threats.
they stabbed that guy
Oh yeah.
so many times till they put him in critical condition. And Drake talked about
So
that on
corny.
Meltdown. He said your bodyguard put in some work on a fluke and you want to go and inherit the shit. That's what that's about. It's about Pusha T's bodyguard stabbing a kid a lot of times on stage and then put him in critical condition when Pusha T was performing in Canada. You know Pusha T actually can't get back into Canada
Yeah,
now.
no.
That's hilarious.
Oh well.
That's funny.
He could do without the Canada fan base. He has.
And it's because of that situation.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, that's why I'm like,
Can you go on just on trips?
no.
But that's what I mean. For me, beef is never that serious to get to the point where my life is at risk and now my like livelihood. Like you can't even travel to a place because of beef. Like for me, like it's never worth it to get that far with anybody. Nobody's worth that my energy and that time and my freedom. Like you win. If it gets to that point, I my hands are up. You got it. You know what I mean? That's how I view it. Like it's not worth dying over. It's not worth. You can't travel to certain cities and states and countries. Like no, you won. Because my whole thing is my perception of winning is living the life that the people that don't like you wish they could have. You know what I mean? You have
But
the relationship that they only wish they could have. Like
it's a little tough when it comes to Drake though, because who's to say that he wants those things?
he said it out of his own mouth
Yeah, but
multiple times.
But from you, right? Like he doesn't want to live your life. He probably would kill himself if he had Pusha T money.
No, I'm not talking about that. But like he still like wants elements of it. Like you could be the happiest person ever. Like you could be the most successful person ever, right? But there's still a piece missing, and you're still upset. Like not saying that he wants to trade lives with Pusha T, but it's like damn, like he only wished that he had like a Virginia by his side who's been there through day one. You have no day one woman, and he probably does have some day one woman that he thinks about, from time to time. You don't got that. You don't got that ASAP Brianna relationship that you wanted. Like at the end of the day, you have all the success, all the fame, all the #1 records, all you want. But at the end of the day, you sitting down in that bed, it's just you, and that's what hits most people. I know plenty of people who are successful. They got all the accolades, all the degrees that they want, but what they really want is that companionship, that love, and they don't got it. So they got all the success, and what you think would lead to happiness, and they're not happy. You know what I mean? And I think the best thing is to have it all. Like I am very content with my life because I feel like I have the money to a point where I'm very comfortable. We do a lot of amazing shit. We have a good relationship. Like I have the relationship, I have the looks. So when you check off a lot of boxes, people are gonna hate that. And you could check off a lot of boxes and still be missing something. And he's still missing that. He checks off a lot of boxes, but still is missing what he really wants. And that's his kryptonite. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that he'll trade lives with Pusha T, but he definitely envious probably of what they have. Like that man's married, and you're not. Like, and you want to be, because you wished you saw that. Like you want growing up, you wished you had that, and you didn't. And now you want that. That's why you have Birkin bags sitting collecting dust in the closet that no woman has come to claim because you haven't been able to find one, and you got a porn star pregnant. Like look at the life that you created, all the success, and look at your lineage. Like that's what really like that's what too, as a man, that's what a lot of men feel like it makes them a man. You can have all those things, but where's the providership? Where's the being a father in a loving household and the head of the household? Like none of that. He doesn't have that. And he got to a point now where I feel like he accepted that, and now also he actually doesn't care for it. And like, no, nigga, you still care. You still care. And they know he cares. That's why they're probably trying to come at him about it. So
How All right, quickly before we get out of here, Rick Ross responded to Drake, which we mentioned a little bit earlier, to spare you guys all the lyric breakdown. Basically, the two major things that he announced is that the reason why he unfollowed Drake is because Drake sent a cease and desist to French Montana to try to prevent his album from coming out, and that's why Rick and him have a beef. And the other thing is that he accused Drake of getting a nose job because he hates his blackness, and
And he
that
might know something.
he called Drake a white boy multiple times.
Yeah.
We also heard that Meg Thee Stallion talk about Drake's surgery for his abs, and Rick Ross brought up his surgery on his abs as well.
So we have multiple sources. I feel like we heard it from somewhere else too.
Now, from a song standpoint, I enjoyed it better than the Drake song, just because it felt more. It just sounded.
Like this.
It sounded better. Like I like the beat more. It sounded more of a diss to me. The Drake, obviously, the Drake song had a lot more high frequency, high hitting entendres and all of that, which is great. I love that as well. But
this felt like he was actually like Rick Ross felt like he was actually disrespecting somebody, which is what I feel like it was a diss. If you diss somebody, you dissing them. You're not throwing subliminals, you're not throwing shots, you dissing them.
right, and his response was bringing up some of the concepts that we said before, where Drake's deal is questionable as well, where he has to cut a deal with he has a deal cut with Lil Wayne, Jay Prince, Birdman, Universal. So when he's using that splits diss to Kendrick, it's still applicable to him too, which kind of like
calls coming from inside the house.
Yeah, so it makes it kind of like it dilutes the diss to Kendrick itself when it could be applicable to Drake too. No matter how much money he's getting, those splits are a fact. Like that's a thing. I don't know if it's still a thing with Birdman and Wayne, but definitely at some point in his career, his money was getting chopped up ridiculous. Because especially when they do the estimated net worth, which I hate, and they're all not factual at all.
Yeah.
Even the estimated fake net worth should have always been higher because of how much music he sells. But I think it was lower just simply from the fact that his pay was getting chopped up from way too many people. And same with Nicki. Nicki was under those same deals. Like allegedly she was under 360, which I don't think she was, but I think she had a similar split. Like you're signed to Young Money, Cash Money, Universal, all these different people. So I think the Rick Ross one was good. I think everybody's disses so far today were good, and what great way to start. Rick Ross tweeted out that this is just the first quarter, so we'll see what happens in the remaining quarters.
Next?
I think Kendrick has to come next.
I know, but it could be anybody though, because Drake came at multiple people, so it could be ASAP, it could be The Weeknd. I mean, we can do an address track would be crazy. I don't think he will because he's at a point of his career where he's had so much success. But I mean, then again, since he's at that point, he might very well just like drop something. But I mean, he's an R&B artist, so
yeah, singing at this is crazy, which is what he's been doing, which is great.
But who knows, right?
I don't think he will.
Yeah, I think he responds in tracks.
Travis ain't gonna say nothing. 21's not gonna say nothing.
Travis is too neutral for me. Like he's not picking a side. 21, no.
I don't know if Future and Metro say anything anymore.
Were you surprised that Rick Ross said something, or no? Was that like expected for you?
That was expected for me because like
he would respond.
He's a rapper. Like when we talk about rap, these are the people we talk about. Like not that Travis doesn't rap, but Travis is an artist. Like he makes certain type of eclectic music. Yeah. So when we talk about rap, like you could throw 21 in there because 21 raps. He doesn't make like R&B and eclectic music. He's not an artist in that sense. He raps. Future, same thing. Even though Future does make R&B records, he's not making eclectic kind of like. Go listen to a Travis album and then go listen to a Future
Utopia
album. Right, it's not going to sound similar. Same way like Kanye, he raps but he's not a rapper to me. Even Drake raps but he's not a rapper to me. They make certain type of music.
That's what somebody even said. They don't think Doja Cat's a rapper. They think that she's an artistic speaker.
Yeah, she raps and she's really good at what her raps, but she's not a rapper. She makes eclectic music. Like Drake made too many R&B songs. Like
even not Beyonce, Nicki a little bit too.
Yeah, Nicki does a lot of singing too. But she's an artist. I think she plays in a lot of different pockets. Like we always reference Super Bass as much as she hates it, but that she plays in these different areas where some of these other the rappers don't play in those pockets. You won't hear Jay-Z. I think the closest thing we got to that with Jay-Z was like the Linkin Park collab album. But Jay-Z doesn't rap on those kind of like high pop hits. So I'm not surprised Rick Ross responded. And honestly, I kind of, not that I feel bad, but it's kind of like, damn, from a Drake perspective, I'm like, what do you even do now? Because if it really is going to be like 20v1 and this is Civil War, it's like, how you even write for that? Like, it would be too tiring because now you got to write, like, let's say he's writing something for Kendrick and he responds. Crazy. And then He got to write something for Rick Ross. And while he did just do this track where he's coming at everybody, it's like to have to do that every single time. It's like, oh man.
Yeah.
So we'll see what he does, but I hope everybody.
I hope Kendrick's next.
This is what we've been waiting for.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, Kendrick.
And you know what? Kendrick's like a rapper, so his response time might be quick. So like we maybe could anticipate it maybe this weekend. Like it'll be interesting to get it tomorrow. Or definitely the next week, but you know you don't want to be too slow with the response. And if he has something in the vault already, allegedly for 4 years, he might be tweaking and modifying it. But let's see.
It might be one of those. And from what we've heard from people that have heard it, it's gonna be just like Drake's. So I think this is a good round one from everybody. Good round one.
Oh Lord, oh Lord. You know me, I'm an ultimate Drake hater, so I'm here.
Yeah, we couldn't tell.
Yeah, but I mentioned this off camera. I recognize his weird behavior since 2015. Like when I was saying this up on Twitter, nobody was really agreeing with me back then because everybody was still on that. Oh, he smoked meat. He did this. They just mad he's successful. I seen through it. I'm like, he seems like a cornball who's weird, and there's something else off-putting about him. Like I was a fan. Like I feel like if anything, I actually had the best perspective because I was actually a fan of him at first. So like I'm not biased. Like I just thought like something switched in him that I thought was really weird, and I just realized he was just nerdy. Like I don't know him personally, but I just feel like a lot of what he presents, I was like, eh.